perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect mess.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Molina, and this is episode 51. I hope everybody's doing great. I actually planned on releasing this episode a couple of days ago, but I got some unfortunate news that kind of put me in a damper for a little while, and I just needed some time for myself. I needed to kind of gather my thoughts, take in the information that I was given and reflect on that for a bit. So I had to put this aside, kind of just been trying to, get myself back in the mode of doing a podcast. And I didn't want to come on here and be, down and out and not sounding like I even wanted to be on. So with that being said, I hope you guys are doing well. Before we get started, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting the podcast. I appreciate all you guys. I still have people that have been just randomly donating, man. And I can't say how much I thank you enough. I don't require any donations or anything like that. But I often get people that want to donate. So I appreciate you guys who do that because it's telling me that you like what's going on here with the podcast and you want to see it grow. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, my website is raymolina.com. Anything I got going on there, merchandise, my small business, any books I'm reading, the podcast, anything about me is on that website. So please check it out. If you're watching on YouTube, this shirt that you see me wearing, I have it for sale on my website as well. Vaccine passport with the AR on it. It's got the USA flag on the right sleeve. These are doing really well. A lot of people are supporting them. So if you would like one of these, they are on my website right now. I think the largest size that I have is a triple XL. If you are bigger than that, let me know and I will make accommodations for you. All right. Before I move on, let me pass you my Instagram, my TikTok, YouTube. My Instagram and my TikTok are the same. It's at It's Ray Molina. The Instagram for the podcast is at The Perfect Mess Pod. YouTube, just search The Perfect Mess Podcast. Every episode that you hear and have been watching is on YouTube, and it is growing immensely. I've been putting up a lot of shorts, a lot of excerpts, so there's almost 130 different videos up there. So a lot of them are shareable, so you can share little excerpts of each episode. So check that out. Again, subscribe at YouTube. I'm also on Facebook at It's Ray Molina, and the podcast also has a page there on Facebook as well. TikTok has been, the growth on TikTok has been insane. I've amassed a bigger following there than I have on Instagram, and I've been on Instagram for years. And in a matter of, I think, a few months that I've been on TikTok, I've almost eclipsed what I have on Instagram, which is pretty nuts. So if you are into TikTok and you want to keep up with what I'm doing and the podcast, it's mainly about the podcast. I suggest you follow me there. I do a lot of cool videos. I share a lot of videos, a lot of inspirational stuff. So check me out there. Again, it's at It's Ray Molina. With regards to the podcast itself, I always appreciate a subscribe, a follow on Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, whatever you listen to. Please subscribe, follow, leave a review, a rating. You have no idea how much that helps this thing grow because, someone who listens to podcasts regularly, myself, I always go onto these platforms and I check what the ratings are to see if it's even worth my time to listen and subscribe to a certain podcast. So if you do that, that helps me out a lot. All right. So please do that. And like I said, I'm on Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor, you name it. I'm on every Stitcher. I'm on all of them. So check them out. Okay. I don't really do any ads. I share a few ads. Usually they're people that I know personally that have, maybe given me some of their products or merchandise. And I'll, work with them here on this website, on my podcast. But other than that, I don't really run any ads or anything. So I try to keep this podcast as valuable to you guys as possible. And what I mean by that is I try to give you information from my life, things that I struggle with, and things that I've powered through to make it to share that information with you, so it's valuable to help you with anything that you may be going through that is similar. All right, so hopefully that's what this thing is doing. From hearing from you guys, it seems like it is. If you're watching again on YouTube, you can see my background is nothing special. I don't have a studio. I'm basically in my bedroom. To the left of to my left is my bed. To the right of me is a microphone with one of my hats on it. But my microphone's where I record music and whatnot. And so it's I try to keep it as natural and basic as possible, man. This is me. What you're getting is me. It's not too flamboyant. Not to say that at some point that it won't get there, because God willing, this thing will grow, and maybe it will. We'll see. Let's see. Christmas just passed, right? And like I said, this episode, I was going to try and release it on Christmas Eve, and it just didn't work out that way. But Christmas just passed. I hope you had a great Christmas. Emotional holidays, right? Emotional. They're always emotional, at least for me. Over the last 5 years, it's been, it's been one of adjustment for me to get used to, my life, being single, having my kids in between two homes and balancing that, and the emotions that comes with knowing that, my time is up and they need to go with their mom, and it just never gets easy. Any parents who are dealing with that as well, and maybe you've been dealing with it a lot longer than I have, I don't know if it ever gets easy. I'm 5 years into it, and it's still tough for me. I don't know. It's just tough. It's just not something that I wanted. I didn't want, two homes for my kids, and but that's what happens. Sometimes it happens in life, and you deal with it accordingly. So that's what I'm doing. But I hope you guys had a really good Christmas. Mine was good. This is the first time in 5 years that my kids actually got to sleep here and wake up in the morning and rush to the tree and open up gifts. That was a special moment for me. I haven't had that in 5 years. So that was good. I was a little concerned, this is where I feel like maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm not up to par, comparing my situation to other situations. But I was wrong. My kids woke up, and it was more about spending the time. We picked out this little Charlie Brown tree. We call it a Charlie Brown tree. It's a little small tree. But me and my kids picked it out. They loved it. And I wrapped all the gifts that I had and put them under the tree, and it looked great. The kids decorated it. And that's what it's about, right? The kids, they weren't worried that I didn't have some 7-foot tree and, 1,000 gifts underneath it. They just were happy that, my situation has changed, and they have a home to sleep in and to spend time with me, and were able to wake up on Christmas and share that moment with me and have breakfast and do all of that. Like, that's what it was about, So again, when I had that moment of doubt, is it good enough? My kids proved me wrong. They were happy. Didn't skip a beat, man. So it was great. It was great to see my kids so excited in the morning, going through their stockings, and they were just happy. They were so damn happy, and I needed that. I needed that, man. A lot of people don't think men. I don't know what it is, man. They don't think us men, us fathers, need things like that. That we're not emotional about that. But I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you, man. A lot of us dads, we feel it right here in our hearts. We need that. We need to know that our kids love us. We need to know that what we're doing is enough. We need that reassurance, because as men, we don't get a lot of kudos, man. We don't get a lot of pats on the back. We don't get all these accolades and whatnot. We just don't get them, so it's good. It's good that, to have those every now and then. So I'm very happy with the way Christmas went. Uh, let's see. Oh gosh, where am I? Gosh, there's so much to catch up with you guys. It's been a while. Um, you know, I've been talking about a lot of stuff with my small business. I've had like with this merchandise that I'm wearing. Speaking of merchandise, I have been dealing with a lot of stuff with my business with regards to getting merchandise and getting T-shirts and jackets and hoodies and beanies and anything you name it that I print on. It has been that this whole you know problem we're having with shipping material and merchandise and shortages and all that. It finally has hit my business, and it's been tough, man. I've had I've got a few things that I'm working on for schools at the moment, and I can't finish the jobs, because I'm not getting enough merchandise in on time. I'm getting all my shipments, they're trickling in, so I'm getting a couple of pieces here, a couple of pieces there, and I'm having to piece together jobs. I say that because I've had a lot of people waiting for this shirt. I've had a lot of people that ordered them and have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And what sucks is I think a few of these things were supposed to be for Christmas, and I wasn't able to get them to them on time. But it's been tough, man. Thank God that all of the clients that I've been working with, they understand, because they've been having to deal with it on other parts of their business, whether it be whatever it is. But everybody seems to be dealing with it now, and we're just trying to do the best we can. So if you're a small business owner like me, I feel for you right now. It's tough. So I've been having to work with my clients a little bit more. I've had to be more lenient because they're being more understanding with me because I'm having shortages. So I'm like, let me give you, just put half down here, or maybe I'll give you a 10% discount. I've been having to work, because we're all trying to make it through this crazy time, man. I just don't know when it's going to get any better, but it's just been tough. So, if you're like me and you're a small business owner, you're the entrepreneur, the last thing you want to do is go get a job, because what entails going to get a job right now is not even just tucking your tail, and putting your pride aside and going to get a job. A lot of these places are requiring you to get a vaccine now. They're requiring all these things to come get a job, and hence the t-shirt. I think we know where I stand on that. So going to get a regular 9 to 5 is just not in the plan right now. So small business owners, hold on strong, hold on tight. We're going to get through this, okay? Keep pushing. Do not give up, okay? If you got something and people want it, keep working at it, all right? Don't give up, okay? That's my message for my small business owners, man, because I'm in the fight with you. It's tough. So that's what's going on with regards to my business. And if you're wondering what kind of business I do, again, just go to my website, go to the shop, Molina's Multimedia. If you're watching, I do embroidery, we do screen printing, we do vinyl print on t-shirts, we do vinyl lettering on vehicles, I do printing on business cards, flyers, posters, you name it, logo designs, anything when it comes to design or print. So that's the small business that I have. Let's see. I'm back on 75 Hard. I think I've mentioned that already. At the time I was going to release this, I believe it was day 40, but where am I at now? I'm on day 45. Today is day 45. So I've got 30 days left. And I will tell you, it's hard. It's hard right now. I have been trying to get the majority of my stuff done early, so I'm not waiting till the tail end of my day to finish water, to finish reading and all that. But it has been tough. One thing I know about this program is this. When you hit around close to day 50, that's when everything starts to just really take a toll on you. Your body's tired. You're working out two times a day. You've been doing it for almost 50 days. You've been drinking a gallon of water a day. It's starting to taste like nothing. And you just need something else to drink, and you can't. At least when it comes to alcohol, beer, hard liquor, whatever, you just can't do it. it's just hard. Even the reading gets hard after a while because you're tired of drinking the water, you're tired from working out, and now you got to sit there and read 10 pages after all this, and you're just like, oh gosh, falling asleep. But you push through. You got to dig deep. This is where you got to dig deep. Hopefully this will be the third time that I complete it. I've tried it. I think I told you guys this will be my fifth time. I had to stop twice, but this is hopefully be my third time completing it. I've got 30 days left. I'll tell you what, man, doing this during the holidays has not been easy. Through Thanksgiving and now Christmas and New Year's. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but there have been moments where I've definitely wanted a beer. I've wanted a whiskey shot and just couldn't do it. So got a lot of buddies that are like, hey man, it's been a while. Let's get together after Christmas. Let's have one. Can't do it, but I will get there. All right. So I'm still pushing through. Body's definitely transforming. I've already, I take my progress picture every day, and I'm definitely seeing the changes. I have stayed away from the scale on this one. Usually every time I do 75 hard, I weigh myself every day. I'm trying to get better at not doing that because I feel like when you get that number in your head, it just sticks there and it sticks there and it sticks there, and it's just becomes almost obsessive. And I'm to the point now where I don't want to know how much I weigh. I just want to look in the mirror and say, that's what I want to look like, or that's the body that I wanted and I got it and I'm happy without knowing what that number is. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get my body to the image that I see in my head. And that's what I'm looking at. So I went away from looking at a number saying I need to be 175 and and that's going to be the number. I'm just not doing that. I've realized that I appreciate myself a little bit more when I'm looking in the mirror and saying, okay, I'm getting close. I need to tighten this area up. I need to do this, do that. And as soon as I do that, boom, regardless of what that number is, I'm happy. So not that I'm telling you guys how to do your journey with fitness, but that's where I'm at right now. And hopefully you guys are doing something, working on your fitness and your health, especially during these times, because these times are very, I don't know, they're interesting because, health is a big thing right now going on with everything that we've been dealing with COVID. People are still getting sick, whether you're vaccinated or not. You're still getting sick, still ending up in the hospital. We're still losing lives, and a lot of that has to do with health. So hopefully you're doing something to take care of that. All right. Let's see. With regards to reading, I wrapped up Mo Meta Blues by why I am spacing out right now. What is his name? Questlove. Okay. I spaced out right now. Mo Meta Blues by Questlove. Finished that book up. I really love it. I did a review on my website. Not really a review. I guess you could say I didn't give it a rating, but I just reviewed it, for anybody who's interested in reading it. That's on my website. I just finished As a Man Thinketh. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull that out of my bag. Where are we? This book, if you are a man, I'm holding it up on YouTube. All right. Now, there are different versions of this cover. So if you see it on Amazon, it's the same book. A lot of people have changed the cover or whatnot, but it's the same book. If it's written by James Allen, that's the book. But this book is, let me tell you, let me see where we're at. It is 40 pages long. I have to tell you, I have never read a book that is 40 pages long that is more powerful than this. This thing might be more powerful than a book that I've read that has maybe 250 pages. I tell you no lies. Men, please read this book. This will tell you everything about your mind and how your life goes the way you think, and how the power of what you put here affects everything that you do in your life. I'm telling you to read this book. This is Highly recommend it. I have not written a review on this. I will be putting a review on my website with regards to this book. So please check it out. I highly recommend it. Matter of fact, this is something I keep in my bag with me regularly to refresh. Like I tell you, I'm always highlighting. So if you're on YouTube, you can see I'm showing you pages where I've highlighted. This thing is full of gems, and I highly suggest you read it. So I finished that one. So I finished Mo Meta Blues, As a Man Thinketh, and I just finished Becoming a Barbarian. Yeah, that book, it was recommended to me, or I was asked by somebody that I know to read it for shock value because they wanted my opinion on this book. They said they knew I wasn't going to like the book, but they wanted my opinion on the author and my opinion on the things that he talked about. I am not a big fan of the author. His name is, what is his name? Good Lord. I'll pull this up right now. Jack Donovan is his name. Like anything else, there's always certain things that are good, in books that I read. I always try to find a silver lining. But if you read between the lines and you're a strong-minded individual, and you're able to think for yourself, and you're not some weak man who's looking for guidance to teach you how to do all these things, you will see that if you do your research on this author, that he has bounced around in some very extreme movements that are out there, that are very dangerous, that are very very questionable, and that are hidden with some truths to everyday man, but they're used in a very creative way to where you kind of get lost in what they're really pushing for. And that's all I can say. I already knew about the author, and this guy just seems thoroughly confused and dips his foot in way too many different movements. And then it seems like when he's called out on them, he denounces them and moves on to the next one, and then he denounces the next one and then moves on. There's not a lot of stable. The only thing I see stable in this is that he's trying to preach about being a strong man, and that's totally fine. I'm all for being a strong man, but when you know the backstory of who this man is, you even question that. So this is not a book I recommend. I'll be honest with you, and you won't hear me say that about most books that I read. But because this is not a book that I chose to read, this is a book that a friend of mine asked me to read because they read it and they were very conflicted with what the book talked about. They wanted my opinion, and the only way I could give them an opinion is by reading the book. I'll be honest with you. I bought the book used because I didn't want the author to make any money. So that should tell you how I feel about it. So I bought it used, and I'm done with it. And this book will not stay in my collection. So I'll leave it at that. So that book is done. I am moving on to the G Code, which is, let me see. Let me grab that book for you real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. All right, Ryan Stillman. Boom, here we go. All right. Now this book right here, I've heard a lot of great things about. Ryan Stillman is he's into sales and whatnot, man. And I follow him on Instagram. He's another one of those very inspirational guys. Talks about being in control of your life, making the right decisions. He had a bunch of setbacks in his life. He did some time in the pen, came out and changed his life, and is now a multimillionaire in business. And I've heard this book mentioned by quite a few people. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is the G Code. All right. So this is my next book that I'm reading. All right. I always share my books with you guys because I'm a very big fan of trying to encourage people to read. Not enough of us read, and I know people say, well, I read online. It's not the same in my eyes because the big thing is trying to disconnect from our devices so we can have that downtime. And I think part of that downtime is actually picking up a physical book and reading it. It's just not the same as an audiobook or reading something on your iPad or your Kindle or whatever it is you're reading on. It's just not the same. I'm a big fan of picking up a physical book and reading it. So if you're not a reader, trust me, I was never a reader either. I was the guy who would read, a page and a half and fall asleep. But that means you're reading the wrong books. So if anything you take from this podcast and you're trying to learn something, you're talking to someone or listening to someone who was never a reader, who's now read I don't know how many books now over the last few years, and I have picked up so much knowledge that has helped me in my life to become a better man, be a better father, and to make better decisions with regards to my financial and all of that. So hopefully I'm mentioning some books that you guys have picked up. If you have any recommendations for me, I'm all ears, man. DM me, send me an email. I'd love to hear it. All right. I have a list of books that I will probably link here at some point on my podcast, to where if you want to send your boy a gift, I'll put a wish list up on Amazon of some books that I'm looking for, and we can do that. All right. Let's see. I have, if you've been watching me on Instagram and TikTok, you've noticed I've been doing my rucks in the morning. Now, I didn't get one out this morning just because I had other things that I needed to do. But here's the thing. My rucks in the morning are magical. It's where I think, it's where I get inspiration because it's cold outside. It's usually raining or just stopped raining, and the day is fresh, and I'm out there getting it, and there's not a whole lot of people out there, just maybe a handful of people. But I've been doing a lot of rucks, and I've been bringing the boys out with me as well every now and then, and they've been doing it. My kid's been doing rucks with me for a few years now, 2 years, and that's pretty special to me because now it's just habit. They don't question anything, they just enjoy it. And the funny thing is, both of my kids are on TikTok. That's the only social media that they have because I let them, use it on their iPad. But they're now, every time I see them, they're like, Dad, you popped up on my For You page again. 90 seconds of inspiration. And I started laughing. They're like, you do those every day, huh? And I said, yeah, I try to, And they're like, but how do you get inspiration every day? I'm like, well, a lot of it I take from previous podcast episodes, things that I've talked about, and then a lot of it just comes to me when I'm walking, when I'm listening to an audiobook, or when I'm listening to a podcast. There's something that sparks something, and I'm like, that's what I need to say today, and I share it. So that's kind of been my thing, 90 seconds of inspiration while I'm rucking, and I put it up, and it seems to be catching on. You know what I mean? It seems that most of you like it, and if you noticed, and you're listening to the podcast, and you're subscribed, you notice I am now taking those episodes, which are 90 seconds, and I'm now uploading them to the server, and you can actually listen to them here on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to my podcast, and you can share them. So I think those are good little bursts of some inspiration that maybe if you enjoy, or you think someone could use that inspiration, you can just shoot off a text with it and they can listen to it and maybe get that burst of energy to say, yeah, I needed to hear that today, man. That's exactly what I was going through. Thank you for sending that. So, yeah, that's what's been going on. The rucks have been amazing. I've been doing a ruck every day. And if you're listening going, what the hell is he talking about? What's a ruck? Yeah, a ruck is basically a weighted pack, a backpack with heavy weights. I usually do anywhere from 35 to 50 pounds, and I walk for 45 minutes, which usually gets me around 2.12 miles. And with a weighted pack, and I just walk. All right, I put a sweat vest on, so I'm sweating. I got a hoodie on, I got a beanie, and I just get out there and I get it. So it's just a good exercise. I love doing them. Let's see. Oh, those 90 seconds of inspiration. I've been putting them up on TikTok, the podcast, Instagram, and they've also been put on YouTube. So all of these things are on YouTube now too. When I tell you YouTube has been updated, everything is up there. You can share excerpts from the videos, all of that. So the YouTube is up and running. I come from the idea of I'm not worried about views right now. I'm just worried about putting up good content, because I know that if you continue to put up good content, eventually something will catch, someone will share it, and the next thing people go search for more. So that's where I'm at right now. I think the stats that I just checked on my analytics with YouTube, it was up view-wise 3,000% over the last 2.5 weeks. 3,000%. And then the time that people have watched the videos is up about 200%. So, hey, the numbers are small, but I'm seeing growth in a few weeks that I've been really pushing. So please make sure to check out YouTube. Let's see. Oh, the quotes. A lot of you have been commenting and DMing me on Instagram about the quotes that I've been putting up, that you really like them and you appreciate them. Thank you so much. That is another thing that I just felt like I wanted to put up something that people could share and put on their Instagram story, or screenshot and put on their IG page as well, or whatever. And they're just quotes from different episodes of my podcast. I'm just taking things that I talked about and putting up quotes and sharing them, because I want to refresh people of the things that I've been talking about. And I just want to share key quotes that I feel like need to be heard again. So that's what I've been doing. And I've been getting a lot of people messaging me, telling me, man, that one hit home. Thanks for sharing that. That quote is so good. Random people that I know, people that I didn't even know were listening to the podcast or watching. Even my pastor, man. My pastor has been like, man, keep doing those. Those are really good. I really like them. So thank you for the feedback, guys. I really appreciate it. So if you ever see me posting up these quotes and you like them, please share them. They're on TikTok as well, and I put a little music behind them, and same thing with YouTube. Changed up the templates for the videos too. If you've noticed, when I do excerpts of any of the episodes, there's a graphic that I use now that has this video you're watching that is in the on the screen of an old vintage TV. So when you watch me, it's like literally I'm on a TV, and then it has all the graphics where you can follow the podcast and a little quote. And then the 90 seconds of inspiration also has a new graphic around the video. I'm just trying to improve everything as I go, just to show that, hey, man, putting in the work to give you guys the best product that I can possibly. You know what I mean? Let's see. Recently, I want to say a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, took my kids out to feed and clothe the homeless over in downtown San Jose, which is something that we try to do when we can. Don't always have a lot of time on the weekends, but because my kids were playing travel ball. But that weekend, which was a couple weeks ago, we had some time and we were going to do a hiking trip. So I took my kids and a couple of their buddies, brought them out there early in the morning, 8 o'clock. I picked them up about 7:30 in the morning, and about 8 o'clock, we got on down to the park in downtown San Jose. We were giving out shoes, pants, clothes, beanies, gloves, jackets, blankets, and we had coffee and some food, some soup, and we're just basically at the park set up and had the kids out there helping out. I try to do that because I want my kids to grow up knowing that we are not only thankful for our situation, for what we have, but we always want to give back. We always want to be considerate that not everybody is in the same situation. Some people need a helping hand, and when we can, let's try to do that. Let's give back to our community. So that's what I've been teaching my kids, and they've been doing it for a while. Now I bring out a few of their buddies, and they do the same thing. So I think it's very important that kids understand about working for their community and giving back at an early age, so they understand that if they are in a better position, they should appreciate it and know that they are blessed. All right. But after that, we went and had breakfast with my buddy Rob at at a very good little breakfast spot across the street from San Jose State. The name escapes me, but if you go to San Jose State or you went to San Jose State, you know exactly the breakfast spot that I'm talking about. It's a little hole in the wall spot right across the street, and they pretty much do just breakfast, and it was amazing. Thank you, Brother Rob, for getting us breakfast. That was not on the menu for that day, but he got us some breakfast, and we appreciate that. And then after that, we went and did our hiking trip. We went up to Grant Ranch and did the Bass Lake Trail. Me and the boys, and we had a great time. I think it was almost 4 miles, and this was a trail that we had never done before. I had been to Grant Ranch before because, again, being candid, when I got in trouble a long time ago when I was 19, I had to do community service for a very long time. And Grant Ranch is one of the spots that I had to go to do community service. I had to clean up the ranch. I had to clean the bathrooms. I had to help make fire trails. I had to do all that. So that's how I found out about Grant Ranch. And as I'm older, there's so many other things to do out there. It's a great place to go, and also has a great hiking area. So that's what we did. We went out there to Grant Ranch, and it was great, man. I highly suggest you guys try to get into hiking. That's another thing that I was never into, and I know it's cliche now. The funny part is, I know it's a running joke that people say, "Oh, when you're going through a breakup or you're going through something and you're trying to find yourself, one of the next things everybody says is, 'Oh, I'm a hiker. I go hiking now.'" I get it. I know how cliche it is, okay? But it's only cliche if someone does it for the interim, and then once they're in another relationship, then they stop doing that. I get it, all right? But I'm saying it's just a relief, man. It's I can't explain. It's you get in touch with yourself. You get to experience being away from everything, disconnected, and just see things maybe you haven't seen before. And you get to this peak or wherever you're hiking, and you look out and you get to sit there. And if you carry a book, you read, or if you pack hot coffee like I do at times when I hike solo, you can sit there and drink coffee and take it all in. Or if you journal, you can sit there and just journal. There's something peaceful about that, and I never used to do that, and I'm very glad that I do it now, because those moments are very special to me. And I don't know. I'm always recommending things, and I feel like if you have it in your heart and you're questioning, like, man, I want to try it, but I don't know, do it. Try it. Find somebody to go with, and if you don't have anybody to go with, download the All Trails app and find a easy hiking route that's close to you and go take a hike. Make sure you bring a lot of water, and make sure it's a very well set up trail, because there are a lot of trails where you can get lost on. All right, so do an easy trail. Let's see, what else have we got here? As you can tell, this is an episode where we're just catching up on everything. I recently spoke a small testimony at my church. It's been a while since I've been on stage. Anybody who knows me personally, who's been around me, knows that there was a time when I was on stage every weekend of every month, either locally or on tour. So being on stage was that was my life for a very long time. And now getting on stage, it's so different for me now, because now I get on stage to speak, whether it's to, talk about my testimony, like at church, and talk about how God has done some amazing things for me and brought me back and got me out of this dark place, or whether it's to be to teach somebody something and to talk about how I have persevered and became a better father, became a better role model and whatnot. That's what being on stage for me is now. So it's just something that I've grown to love. And when I got the call to come speak at my church, the other weekend and talk about my testimony of being in these small groups that we have and how they've affected my life and done some wonderful things for me. It was a blessing. So I did that. It was great. And I'm always very thankful for my church family because they've done a lot for me. My kids performed at church for Christmas, and that was awesome. It's always awesome to see my kids up there singing and whatnot. I helped with the live broadcast. I was the video switcher. So if you watched our church online, I'm the guy you seen switching the camera to each little angle every time there was, performances or the pastor was speaking. That was me switching the views and whatnot. So that's how I give back also at church. But it was a great, great service. And I just appreciate my church for so much, man. It's a small church, but man, we got a big, big heart, man, and big fire, I tell you. Let's see. After church that day, that we did the performance and all that, we went to the Niner game. Me and the boys went to the Niner game. Took one of their buddies with us, Ricky. We watched the Niners Falcons, and it was a good game. It was a really good game. It was good to be back in the stadium. That was our first game of the season, and probably be our only game because they have, I think, one more game this Sunday at home, and I just don't think we're gonna make it. But yeah, it was good. It was good to be back there. I don't know about the Niners, man. I'm a Niner fan. If you're a football fan, the Niners have been a roller coaster all year. One week, they look like they're Super Bowl contenders. Next week, I'm scratching my head because we look confused and we're losing to a team that we should be killing. So that's been the Niners season. We won that game against the Falcons. It was a really good game. We had fun. But, man, it's just one of those things, man. Let's see what else. I've been trying to keep the boys busy during this vacation. We went to the Niner game. We're been doing hiking. We went to go see a couple of movies. We saw the Spider-Man movie, which was excellent. Very, very good. I'm not going to do any spoilers because I know it's still new and probably a lot of you haven't seen it yet. But the kids love Spider-Man. If you're into Marvel, check it out. It was awesome. Then we went to go see Sing last night. And that movie always cracks me up because it's a bunch of animals who just sing, and they're very good singers, and they do all this flamboyant dancing and all this stuff. And I like that movie. It's just funny. I love more watching my kids' reaction to the funny parts of these movies because it's so genuine. But they enjoyed it, and we had a really good time. Speaking of that movie last night, I realized that I always have a mask on me because I have a cloth one, but I don't always have the disposable one, so I often run out. And yesterday we ran out, and we were late getting to the movie, so we stopped by an AutoZone because AutoZone usually has them right by the cash register. And the lady was like, "Oh, we don't have any to sell." So I walked out, and I'm like, "Damn it, we gotta go find a couple of masks because the theater and the mall is funny like that. They're not gonna let you in without a mask." So as we're getting in my car and I'm pulling out of the parking lot, some guy's walking by out of the store, and he's going like this. He's like pointing to his face, and I roll my window down, and I said, "What?" And he goes, "Do you need any masks?" And I said, "Yeah, I go, "We ran out. My kids need a couple. We're about to go to the movies." He said, "Hold on, I got you." So he runs to his car. He comes back, and he hands us 4 masks. And I'm like, "Man, you know what? Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that." He goes, "Nah, this sucks, man." He goes, "But here, man, I got a bunch in my car." So he gives me that, and I give him my business card. And I said, I do a lot of different things. Here you go. If you need anything that's on my business card, give me a holler. I got you. I don't know, man. It sucks that we're in these times where we got to take, we got to have a mask in our pocket, in our bag, wherever we go. But it is what it is. It's just good to know that we have some good people out there still that are helping. You know what I mean? That are just being good people. So shout out to that guy. I don't know if he's ever going to tune into this podcast. He may. He has my business card. So if you are listening, thank you so much, man. That was very considerate of you. Me and my boys appreciate you. I was talking about TikTok earlier, and I want to talk about the growth, and it's just nuts. I did a video where that went viral. I've never had anything myself that's went viral. I had, I think, 200 followers on TikTok, And in a matter of, I think, 4 days, I jumped up to 1,100 followers. So almost 1,000 followers in a matter of 4 days. I just did a duet. What they call a duet is you take a video that someone did and you share it, and so your videos are mirrored next to each other, and you can comment as the guys or the woman, whoever you're duetting with, as they're doing their video, you can comment. And I did that with this guy who did a video regarding men and how men. It's okay for you to be a man. It's okay for you to speak out. It's okay for you to be a protector, a provider. And I just agreed with everything he was saying, and I shared it, and I duetted it, and I talked about it, and then I left basically a caption, and I shared it. And I went to sleep, and this thing just blew up. Like my phone just was going nuts, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with TikTok? The thing ended up getting about 96,000 views. It had 1,600 shares. It had 3,000 likes. It had 1,100 or 1,000 comments. It just went nuts. And the next thing I know, today I'm sitting over 1,200 followers on TikTok, which is kind of crazy for me. So TikTok is. I wasn't really going to join TikTok. It was just, for me, it was like, just another app. I'm getting tired of joining all these apps. But it's hard to argue whether I should be on there or not when the results are there, and I'm getting more traffic to the website. I'm getting more traffic to my podcast, and I'm getting more traffic to buying merchandise. So, as much as I don't want to be on another app, it's hard to deny that, there are results that are helping with growth and whatnot. So TikTok, man, I doubted you, and I shouldn't have, because you proved me wrong. My boys have accounts there, and I'm at a point now where I'm having to accept that they're getting older, and I'm having to loosen up the reins a little bit. And I got to tell you guys, man, it's hard. It's not going to be easy for me. But I'm going to do it. I won't say that I'm doing it 100% willingly, but I'm going to do it. I'm starting to see my boys with their own personalities, their own... Oh, man. Just... Man. This is it's great, and it's nerve-wracking to know that your kids are growing up, and you kind of got to sit back and watch, guide them still, but watch, because they got to become who they are. You can't hold their hand all the time, and you just got to hope that everything that you've been teaching them, they have it in the back of their head. My kids' accounts, man, I love my kids' accounts. Jordan has his account, and his account is really just about sports. It's about everything sports that he loves, baseball, basketball, football, and he just shares stats. He shares videos, highlights, all of these things, and sometimes some Fortnite stuff. But really, it's just about sports. So, he's trying to grow it, and I've been, talking to him a little bit about how to grow it and how he can use sports and how he loves stats and whatnot, and how he can do videos where he talks about highlights and how he talks about stats of a certain player. So I've been slowly teaching him. I got to be honest, man, I was reluctant at first because I'm like, gosh. But they see me do it. Why not teach them, so they can have a good experience? So I've been teaching Jordan about that, because there are a lot of guys who do sports TikToks, and I think my son would be really good at it. So I've been teaching him how to do it, and I think he'll be all right. It's just awesome to watch. Jaden, he does a lot of little animated videos. he has a bunch of action figures from Naruto and uh, Dragon Ball Z, and he puts them up and he does these little movements to where you can't see his hands. They're animated, so they look like they're fighting and doing stuff and falling. And the whole time he's doing voiceovers, and they're just awesome video, and they have these little effects on it, and this is what he does. And it's just crazy to see the creativity. And these are both my kids' accounts, and it's just it's awesome. That's awesome to watch. I'm very in tune with their accounts, and I'm always letting them know, like, hey, because one kid recently made a comment on my son's page. My son shared that he got earpods. He's been wanting earpods for a long time, and we finally got him the Apple earpods, and he shared it on his TikTok. And some random person replied, "Did I ask?" Because he said, "I got earpods for Christmas." And he had music on there, and he was showing them. And my son replied with, "Did you really need to comment that?" And a couple of his friends were like, "Hey, man, those are dope." And I replied, "Hey, Merry Christmas, son. We love you. I'm glad you like those." But I also talked to him offline and told him, "Hey, do you know that person?" He said, "No." I said, "Okay, do me a favor. Don't ever reply to anybody like that. Just block them, okay? Because obviously they're not there because they like your content. They're not there because they have anything great to say. They're not there to support you. They're not there for anything. They don't even follow you. They're there just to make a bad comment because they probably hate their life and they're not happy at home. And they just want to make rude comments online all day. So to save yourself the stress and whatever, block that person. Because you don't know them and they're not talking anything positive. Just block them and move on." And he said, "Okay." So he blocked them. So I'm trying to teach them, because that's going to happen. It happens to all of us. I get them on my Instagram, my DMs, my comments. I get them on TikTok. I get them on YouTube. I get them all the time. It's just people sit online all day and they're miserable. So if they don't like something or they just want to be jerks, they're just going to do it. Why? Because they're behind a computer screen. You don't know who they are, and they just want to pop off at the mouth. So anyways, that's what I'm teaching my kids, and just to kind of protect their energy. So yeah, they're growing up, man. It's crazy. One of the first follows that I had on TikTok was a guy named Voodoo, and I didn't know him personally, but this guy Voodoo was a younger cat. He was an Army veteran, and he just always had some really, really good content with regards to life and relationships, and him dealing with women in his life, and his approach to how men should be with women, showing strength. He always talked about his relationship, how he was troubled with his dad, talked about his relationship with his mom, how he protected his mom from his dad and the physical abuse. He talked about working out, but he was always doing funny videos with people who would comment just some BS, and he would put them in their place, and just always had positive things to talk about, man. And he was younger than me, but he was just a good dude, man. I always appreciated when I would log on and he would pop up on my For You page, and I would, listen to what he was saying. And I'm like, man, this is a good dude, with a good upbringing, and just, he always talked about how he wanted to be a father, and was waiting for the right woman. You know what I mean? And Voodoo passed away Christmas Eve. And that, I don't know why. I didn't know him personally, but you get on these apps and you connect with people with what they're saying, and maybe you've never talked to these people, or maybe you've never met them or anything, but we get this kind of connection, right? Because we agree with what they're talking about. We vibe on the same things, and I don't know why. When that popped up on my For You page that he had passed away, I was driving. I had to pull over because I thought it was a joke. I thought I thought someone was because the picture of him was he was smiling, and then I realized it was one of his close friends saying that he got the call that he passed, and apparently he had COVID. Apparently his best friend had talked to him on I think the day before he passed, and he was in good spirits, saying, I'm okay. He goes, I'm pulling through. I don't think I have much time in here. He goes, I'll be ready. I'll be back up and running, and I'll be fine. I'll be good. And then the next day he was gone. So that was just crazy, man. If you get on TikTok, just hit the hashtag voodoo, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Very good content creator. I think he had probably close to 100,000 followers, and he just had good content, man. And I supported him. So rest in peace to that man, Voodoo. I know your family's gonna miss the hell out of you, man. I know you touched a lot of people's lives with your content. Blessings on your journey, man. Let's see. Uh, my little league family, man. We had a loss in my little league family as well. We're a coach over at the little league here in San Jose. We lost a man by the name of Jim Selway. Jim Selway was like the grandfather of the little league, man. This man had, I think, 42 or more grandchildren. Let me say that again. 42 or more grandchildren. This guy was a grandpa. Like, if there's any grandpa, he was the grandpa. And I worked very closely with Jim. Jim handled all the sponsors when it came to the league, and then I would design all the banners, and we would put the banners up around the fences. And, when we were trying to do the let them play movement and rally, when we went outside of the doctor's office for the kids to play baseball during COVID, I did the printing of the signs, and we went out there together. Me and my son Jaden and Jim Selway and his family, we were out there with a bunch of other people protesting, getting our voices heard. Jim was just, he was a fiery guy, man. He had a lot of heart, hard working old man. Respected this dude so much, man. Just hard working. Always got his hands dirty. Was not afraid to put in some work. And you can tell he raised his family like that too, because I know a few of his sons, man, and they're hard working as well. And Jim passed away. I don't know the full details. I know it was health related, but gonna miss you, Jim. It's gonna be strange going back to the Little League this year and him not being there. It's like I said, it's someone that I worked closely with at the Little League, and not being able to see him and work with him this coming year is gonna be strange. Me and his son Matt had already talked about our first meeting back. We got to make sure that we have one for him, all of us. So, Jim, rest in peace, man. I'm going to miss the hell out of you, buddy. A lot. Big time. As I started to record this podcast, I also heard that we lost John Madden. That's crazy. Excuse me. Madden is a coach from the Raiders. He's well known coach from the Raiders from back in the 70s. Probably the most legendary commentator of sports. They named a game after him, or he was the face of the most popular football game ever, Madden. My kids play that. I was playing it when I was younger. It's just crazy that we're losing, that we're losing so many people here, man. But I know that when we get older, we're just, that's what happens, Like I said, I'm in my late 40s now, and I just focus on things that I'm thankful for these days and know that my time is limited, that I could go at any time. And hearing stories like this just remind me, man, live life to the fullest. Enjoy your time. Make sure everybody knows you love them, and do the best you can with your time. Make the best impact you can. And I think Madden did that. If you're a sports fan, I think you'll agree with me. Sorry for the pause a little while ago. I'm just blown away. I know he was old, and people are saying it was just a matter of time. It's just I guess you could say it's the end of an era. You know what I mean? Like, I just miss seeing that guy on TV and doing his funny little sketches with the plays and circling people's faces on live broadcasts, and then his commentary was just legendary. I guess I'm just gonna miss that, man. And I know he's been off and retired for a while, but I don't know. I'm still gonna miss it. The main topic of this podcast is Beyond Blessed, and I know that I just talked about a few deaths right now, but this really brings me to the point of being blessed and being beyond blessed. I can reflect on last Christmas and where I was last Christmas. I didn't have a home. I didn't have a bed to sleep in. I didn't have a shower. I didn't have a kitchen. I didn't have anything. This was last Christmas, a year ago. If you've been listening to this podcast since last year, you may remember the Christmas episode I released where I had the pink Christmas tree, the little one, and the story of how that tree came to me. How I was sitting in a car kind of thinking about life and kind of down and out. And I looked to my left, and Christmas hadn't even happened yet. But there was a little Christmas tree on a tree stand, a little metal tree stand sitting out by the curb. Albeit it was pink, but that pink is what caught my eye because it was so bright. And I looked, and it was probably 1 a.m, and it was like someone just left it there. Like I said, Christmas hadn't even happened yet. It was probably a few days before Christmas. And I grabbed it and I put it in my car, and I took it back to where I was staying, and I put it up there. And then I put my gifts that I got my kids around it, and it did something for me. It reminded me that I may not be where I needed to be, where I wanted to be, but I'm okay. I'm still in the fight. I'm still pushing through, and I'm going to be fine. I don't know why I found that tree there. I can only assume that it was to give me that extra boost of confidence to know that everything is going to be okay. And then you fast forward to now, I have a place to stay now. I have a bed. I have a kitchen. I have a shower. I have my own little tree. I have a place to live, a place to rest my head, a place for my kids to come home and sleep with me and have their special moments with me, and we can read books together, we can play games together, we can exercise together. When they're cold at night or they're scared, they can come in my room and jump in my bed and lay with me because they're cold or because they just need a hug. Beyond blessed. you know, to somebody else who's doing excellent, got every car they want, got all the money they want, got a big fancy home. They may look at my situation and be like, that's not much. You ain't doing that good. But you don't know my story. You don't know where I come from. You don't know where I've been, so you can't appreciate where I'm at. But it's not for you. It's for me. This is my life, my story. And I'm proud of how far I've come. I didn't do it alone. I had God with me. I'd be a fool to not acknowledge that. I am beyond blessed. And still, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. And this is yet another stepping stone to where I'm trying to get to. And I will get there. I will. This is not an easy journey when you're doing it by yourself. It's not like doing it when you have a partner. It's not like doing it when you have two incomes. It's not like doing it somewhere where it's reasonable to live. Because it's not reasonable to live out here in the Bay Area. It's not. It's tough. And there are a lot of people right now that are worse than check to check. It's not easy. I'm proud of my journey. I am not ashamed of where I came from. You listen to episode 26, where I talk about how I had to live when COVID first hit. I am not ashamed of where I come from. It's made me who I am today. I get a lot of people that message me and say, man, you are an amazing father. You inspire me to be a better father. I don't even have kids yet, but I cannot wait to have kids yet because you inspire me to be the best man possible. I get people that message me, dude, you are so strong. Like, the shit that you've gone through, like, I don't understand how you've powered through, but I watch you and how you power through every day, and I'm in awe. Like, I've had people tell me this. I'm not ashamed of what I went through because that's when you give me those compliments, when you tell me those things, everything that I told you in episode 26 and what I'm telling you now about last Christmas, those are the things that made me. Those are the things that I needed to endure in order to become this person. And this isn't my end game. I'm not even done yet. Because every morning I thank God that I woke because He's given me another chance. And every time I pray, I tell Him I'm thankful for my blessings, but I tell Him I'm even more thankful for my storms because I know my storms is where the blessings are going to come on the other side. I know that when I weather through those storms, that I am going to have a blessing on the other side of that. That's where my strength comes from. I don't care when hard times hit anymore. They may knock me off my path, but I get back in it. And I say, cool, let's go. If this is what it's got to be, let's go. I'm up for it. And I ain't going to lose. I won't. I've been through too much. All of the things that I talk about are what got me here. When I get those compliments, I always think about, man, if this person really knew the stuff that I've gone through, I don't know if they know. I am beyond blessed. I tell God all the time because one thing I've learned is don't be shy. Don't be afraid to ask God for what you really want in life. You may not get it when you want it, but you get it when you need it. So, I always tell God, God, I'd love to be financially free. I'm not saying rich. I'd love to be financially free so I don't have to worry about money no more. So I can provide for my kids everything they need, whether it be education or set them up so they don't have to stress throughout their life. But I want to be financially free. God, I want a home. I want a home that I can buy outright. I don't want to be in debt. I want a home that I can buy. That my kids come, they can look at it and be proud and say, Dad, you did it. Look at you, you did it. I want a home that my grandkids, when I have grandkids, can come and visit and stay and have fun. Something that's comfortable, something that's welcoming, inviting. I want that. Lord, I'd love to have the opportunity to, in that same home, to be able to have some of my closest family members over to get together for the holidays. Because Lord knows I miss that so much. I can't remember the last time that I had my family together for the holidays and it felt warm. I'm not talking about just my mom, my sister, and my niece and nephew and my kids. I'm talking about family, to where there's music going, there's food cooking, and there's TV going, and everybody's playing games. I need that. These are the things I ask God for. And I also ask Him, when the time is right, please provide me the woman that I deserve. The woman who's going to love me for who I am, and the woman who's going to support me and hold me down in whatever I'm doing in my life. She's going to say, baby, I got you. You want to do that? That's what you're doing. I support that move. Let's do it. Someone who's going to say, when I'm failing, it's okay. We're going to be okay. And someone who accepts me for who I am. Accepts my kids, loves my kids. Loves God first. Because if she don't love you, I can't have her in my life. These are the things I ask you for, God. But I don't ask you these things because I'm not thankful and I'm not grateful for what I have. I'm beyond blessed. But I'm asking you these things because these are the things that I'm working towards. Use me however you see fit. Use me to spread your word, to spread your light. And I'll do whatever I can. These are the conversations I have with God. I'm very thankful for my situation. I'm blessed. And if you sit back and look at your life, I promise you, you will find some things that you're blessed for as well, or blessed with. You may not have everything you want, but I bet you anything you have everything you need for that current moment, that current season of your life. Keep all that in mind. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys are having a very blessed day, evening, wherever you're at. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday, Thanksgiving and Christmas. I know New Year's is coming up in a couple of days. I pray that you're safe. I will drop an episode probably before New Year's. But I love you guys, man, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate all of your support, your messages, everything. I appreciate you guys so much. if you feel so inclined, please share this with somebody. All right? I love you. Please subscribe, review, follow, share, comment, all of that on any of the apps that you may be listening to or watching. I appreciate all that. Again, my website is raymolina.com. My Instagram is @itsraymolina. The podcast Instagram is @theperfectmesspod. My TikTok is @itsraymolina. We are on YouTube. Search The Perfect Mess Podcast. And we're also on Facebook as well. All right. If you would like to donate, like I said, it's not a requirement, but you can. I use Cash App. It's $ It's Ray Molina. And that's all I have, man. I hope you guys stay blessed and really think about how blessed you are. Okay. Get out of your feelings and just look at your life. Take a minute and look at your life. I promise you, you will find some ways that you are blessed that you didn't even think about or that you may have forgotten. All right? Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it's a mess. But for me, it is the perfect mess. I love you. God bless.
Perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect mess.